Okay, today I added status effects and perks. I only added one of each though, but I will remedy that in the next episode when I actually make them. For now, the only ones I have are just placeholders. So, let me show you this. So, first, let me open up the perk selection menu, push this button. It's gonna work kind of like Destiny 2. That's how I plan on doing this. And then I push this button, and now perk 1 is enabled. Now, what that means is whenever I jump, I get a speed boost. It multiplies my speed by 5. And then if I sprint, it multiplies my speed by 2. And then if I jump again, it adds another instance of it, which multiplies it by 5 again. So it goes from 5 to 25 to 125. The current limit I have is 10 for this status effect, but honestly that's not very important. Like, you can just set a limit to whatever. Alright. Whatever. Okay. And then when this... Okay, so you see the status effect is about to end. I thought I'd crash for a second. What the... Oh, I misplaced my fingers on the keyboard. Okay, that explains why I wasn't able to go forward. Okay, and now you see that the speed in the first-person movement is back to 5. And then the sprint speed is back to normal as well. I was honestly very surprised to see how well this would work, or to see how well this worked. It basically worked first try. Well, 10th try, pretty much. There was like a couple issues. But yeah, that is all that I have developed, so let me show you it now. So for the jump, I have added a trigger so that it... okay, let me show... Okay, so I added a status effect template. So there is time remaining and time max, stack count and max stack count, effect display area, effect display. This is like the canvas. This is the object so that it can be, the reference is needed so that you can remove it when the buff ends. It's like object that is displaying the status effect symbol. This is the prefab for making that symbol. This is the text for displaying the time, and the text for displaying the stack. This is the apply type, the effect repetition type, and the moved version. This is, well, if it's 1, it means it applies the effect on start. If it's 2, it applies it over time. If it's 3, it applies it when the effect ends, i.e. burst damage when the effect ends. Whatever. And then this moved version exists as a way to check if the script... you know what, let me just tell you. So, the way this works is it creates a object, or an empty object with this script on it as a child of the object it is targeting. And then the first thing that script does on the object is check if, well, first it checks if it is the version that's on the object or the version that's actually on the target, which is what this moved version is. And then if it's the version that's on the object, moved version false, it then checks if there is already a version of this script on the object it is targeting, or like if there's already if this status effect is already on the enemy or the player, you don't really need to apply it. You don't really need to make another script. That would just kind of clog up the inspector, and also be a bit hard to troubleshoot because they're the same thing. So if it does this script.add, which essentially, so what that does is it just increments the count of the script and resets the timer. So, like, if you have poison that stacks, or if you have like something that's like a poison that does X amount of damage per second, and that X is the amount of stacks of poison it has, then then that would be what the stack is. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, if this script, or if the parent script does, sorry, if the parent object does not already have that, then it gives it that, and sets the moved version to true, and then destroys the object it is on. And then, so now with the moved version true, this is the part where it actually gets into the logic for the script. It sets stack count equal to 1. So it has 1 stack. And then time remaining is time max. Effect display area is get component in children canvas. That will get the first canvas that is on the object, which is why I had to move the canvas all the way up to here, because before it was getting the canvas on the seed bag for some reason. Well, not for some reason. I don't know why, but. And then effect display is instantiate effect display prefab. Effect display dot transform dot set parent. Wait, hang on. I forgot to carry something over. Okay, now that should work. Or, well, this script is just this is supposed to be like getting copied, and then you copy that into, or and you modify that to get the other scripts for other buffs. Anyway, so gets the effect display area dot transform dot child. Oh, sorry. Effect display dot transform. Set the parent of that to the child of the display area, or sorry, the first child of the display area, which will be where the effect display is. Effects display text time. Get that from the from this. It'll be child 0. The stack. Get that from that. It'll be child 1. Set the stack 1 to be. Set it to say X plus stack count. And then apply the effect and start the timer tracker. So apply effect. If it is apply type 1, yeah. If it's apply type 2, I already went over this, but if it's apply type 2, it starts a loop for, effect repetition time. So like every half second or every 1/10 of a second is what this part's for. And then it just does something like apply poison damage. And then timer tracker. If time max is not 0, which would be just if time max is not 0, the reason I have it check for if it's not 0 is because I have, if it's 0, then it goes until it stops. Sorry, it goes until some other condition is met, like jumping or something like that, instead of like a timer. And then while and then while there is time left, remove 1/10 of a second, update the display text, wait 1/10 of a second, and then once that's done, and then once this runs out of time, just trigger the remove function. Okay, the add function, so how it works is, first you undo the effect, if there is any, if it can stack more, first if it can stack more, like if there's more room for it, then you undo the effect, apply the effect over again, increment the stack, set time remaining. Wait, hang on, did I? Oh, alright, I should. Never mind. Increment the stack, then apply the effect again. Set time remaining to be time max, and then update the stack count. Update the number counting the stack. And then remove. This is apply type 3, so if it is apply on remove, like some status effect that kills the thing when the effect ends, like some kind of doomy thing, I don't know. Then do something here. If not, which is everything else, undo the effect. And then destroy the effect display. Set effect display and destroy and effect text to null, and then destroy this object. Sorry, not this object. Destroy this script. The reason I have it set up like this, where there's like a different script per buff, is so that it's easier to troubleshoot. And I won't need one gigantic script for all of the buffs. So let me show an example of that in action with this speed buff. So you may notice there is some setting of values here. That is because I need to make sure it actually transfers these over, or, well, I mean, I need to make sure that it actually, like, keeps track of these instead of setting them to 0 over again, or instead of setting them to 0, because it removes the script and then makes a new one instead of moving the script. Okay, so, yeah. Apply effect. So, if it has this, this is to get a reference to it. For every, do a for loop between 0 and the stack count number with incrementing it every time. Set the move, and then in that, set the move speed multiplied by, or set the move speed to equal itself multiplied by the speed multiplier. Yeah, and then here we divide. And same here. Okay. Oh, I also made a script for just toggling things open and closed, and I guess unlocking the mouse if it's in a menu. So now we have the perk logic. Uh, so it works like this. It is a static script, meaning there can only be one, but it can be referenced anywhere. Which is going to be handy because I'm going to be referencing it from quite a lot of things. Okay, so I've got a bool for perk 1. This makes it be able to be referenced. Then there is a void to toggle perk 1. That is the void that the perk 1 button did. And then this is the logic for it. This gets triggered by the jump thing. First and foremost, if there is if perk 1 is true, well, the true is implied, then set status effect, add status effect to this object. Status effect is 0, which would be the speed boost one. Yeah, so here's the void for adding the status effect. Okay, so it's the target, and then the effect number makes a new object called effect, and then moves that effect to the parent. And then the effect just does all the rest of the work. Yeah, this was surprisingly easy. I thought this would be a lot harder, honestly. I guess I've just gotten a lot better at programming than the last time I tried this. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I really did. I certainly did. And, yeah, I'll see you next video when I hopefully make actual perks and status effects. But that is all. But this is going to be all for me for today.